And we are live.
Every time we go live, I tell JD I'm ready, but I'm actually not ready.
That's
What
my
did you do
secret.
this
I'm
time,
never
Manuel?
ready.
I mean that's true. Like I don't know. Like you can give me as much leeway as you want, and I'll never be. Might as well just start when we're gonna start. I'll figure it out. Oh, our boxes look bigger now. I should have brought the tree closer. Whatever. Hey everyone, it's Ultra Podcast Z, episode 223. Manuel's a dumbass and forgot the last one was 222, and I did not mention it once. So, yeah, the last episode was 222, and I have an obsession with that number, and I didn't mention it. So I hate myself. That's my introduction. Um,
Uh,
hopefully, hopefully not hating themselves is Fangy. Say hi.
well, okay, mostly. Hi, everybody. I'm Fangy. I'm the comfy cryptid VTuber. I do a lot of gaming streams, but uh, also I went to Japan recently, so Manuel and JD invited me over to talk about it, and also about holiday stuff.
Yeah, it's a very cryptid Christmas, and you know, it's always fun to travel, and I haven't traveled much since the pandemic, but I figured that was a fun topic, and I didn't even know it was your first trip to Japan, which is even more amazing.
Well, actually, we were planning on going in 2020, and we had some stuff booked.
Oh,
Sorry about my dog. We had some stuff booked for it, and it got canceled because of COVID.
oops.
So we'd been waiting
That,
3 years.
well, I know a lot of people are going 20 who are trying. I mean, obviously they didn't go. I know a lot of people whose first trip was going to be in 2020, and it's just like, man, y'all picked a really good year.
I know.
Rip. Unfortunately, some of I don't know if you actually had stuff booked that was all refunded to you. I had some friends who got stuff not refunded, but oh, we'll postpone this stuff, like Airbnb stuff mainly.
We
Uh,
had hotels booked, and they were really good about refunding us, actually, which I
I
was
do not.
I was very grateful for.
So you booked hotels and not Airbnbs, right?
Yep, yeah, I'm too nervous to try Airbnbs over there. Just
They
if
keep
anything went wrong, if I'm in a foreign country, I'm like, ah.
I can't stand Airbnbs in the US, and everyone I know, like personally, every single person I know uses Airbnbs. I don't know if it's like a millennial thing or something, but it's like, why do you want to use an Airbnb, especially abroad? It's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if your host isn't there? What are you gonna do?
I mean, I think the reason is money, is cash money.
It's not really that cheap. Well, maybe it was at one point, but I don't know. If you know where to stay, you can get cheap. One of my favorite hotels to stay at is Hotel C. I don't even know if it's still there. It's Hotel Sienna in Kabukicho, and I'm actually looking it up real fast to see if it's still there. And
I
if
was
we,
I was too scared to go anywhere near there.
yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
it's
a
actually
scaredy cat. I'm a scaredy
it's kind
cryptid.
it's kind of a love hotel. I'll be honest with you, but it's cheap.
Yeah, love hotels do seem surprisingly cheap
But
from what I've read online.
not only is it cheap, but it's very Western. I mean, it's not Westernized. Well, it is Westernized, but as in it's not one of the in Japan they have business hotels,
They're
and
so
those
small.
yes, those are literally a room. And
That's
I'm not
actually that's where we stayed in Tokyo, and it
no,
was so claustrophobic.
I stayed in one before, in an in between trip, when I was going somewhere else, and I'm like, this is insane. Yeah, it's literally a room with a bed.
Literally, we had to put our suitcases under the bed because there was no room.
Yeah. Yeah, I stayed in one, and I remember a friend came to visit. It's like, you got a business hotel. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Thought I was getting a normal hotel room. But yeah, if you stay in love hotels, usually you get the price, and then you get a price similar, but it's like an actual big room.
And you might get a jacuzzi tub.
Yeah, like not, Hotel Sienna doesn't have it, but I've seen it other ones. I've talked about this hotel that I love in LA for AX, which is the hotel closed down but now reopened, where they have the see-through shower. I don't know if you were on a podcast where I've ever talked about this,
I
but in
don't think
Japan,
so.
yeah, it has a see-through shower. It's great. I mean, obviously you can close it, but the idea is you can look into it. But I stayed at this hotel in Japan. It's one of the love hotels that had a see-through shower that you couldn't close, but it wasn't full body. It was just above the waist.
Okay.
And I couldn't help but wonder if is the shower censoring itself too? Not to get, too in the weeds here, but for those who do not know,
Right,
yeah,
right.
censorship in Japan. Anyway, yeah, that's I don't know, but also if that area is a little Shinjuku itself, and especially Kabukicho, can be a little problematic if you're not like in a group or like a guy. So,
Yeah. That's what I had
yeah.
read on online, like on the Japan travel subreddit and stuff, a lot of horror stories. So we ended up just staying pretty close to Akihabara.
Oh, okay. Well, I love that whole area, the Shinjuku area. I mean, even if you're not in Shinjuku proper, 'cause it's right next to Harajuku and Shibuya. It's all like this little like. It's funny because if you take the train, I always feel like taking the train. If you're in Shinjuku, taking it to Shinjuku to Shibuya or to Harajuku, you could actually walk that just as fast. It's just that you probably would get lost unless you're like paid attention or you know the way already.
Yeah, if you're really familiar with the area.
Yeah, because going underground through those long tunnels to actually get to the train, uh, usually takes so much damn time. Anyway, so yeah, how was your trip? You just came back. What is your overall best, your overall impressions of Japan actually being there?
Yeah, so we were there for 2 weeks, the beginning of November. Um, like there were a lot of things that I already like knew about Japan. Like you always read on like, oh, it's clean and the bathrooms are high tech and stuff. But even like after you get there, you still end up like really surprised. Like just how great everything is, surprisingly. Like we were in Tokyo, it's like a huge city with so many people, and there's no garbage anywhere. At least in the areas that we were in. It's just really impressive.
Yeah, the no garbage thing is crazy actually because like you would think, especially in a place like Shinjuku or like Kabukicho or Golden Guy or any of the more heavier drinking places, that they would at least be dirty. But like you said, I don't know if you actually went there at all, but they're not either. That's the crazy thing. It's like really these like sketchy looking people over there drinking their like alcohol. They're gonna drink the can and then like carry it with them somewhere. That's
Right, because there's
wild.
no garbage cans.
Yeah, that just blows my mind. And it's funny because like there sometimes are garbage cans, like not garbage cans, but like recycling cans next to vending machines. But you're not supposed to use those unless whatever you got was from the vending machine.
Right, right.
So like, I'm still the person. If I walk past it, I'm like, I'm still gonna put my stuff in there. You guys can judge me. But so, did you guys do the whole thing where you just had to take a mound of trash with you back to your hotel?
Well, most of the time we got like drinks from vending machines and then we put them in the recycling bin. And if we got food, we would like put the wrapper in like a Ziploc bag that we brought because like we knew ahead of time about that,
Oh,
so we kind of planned for it.
oh, you were a lot more conscientious than I was. First of all, I would low key almost beg. Like if I got food from a place, like even if it was like a to go place, I would kind of linger by the place, and I'm like, I'm handing this back to you when I'm done. Like
Well, I think
uh,
that's kind of what you're supposed to do because a lot of times the restaurant, or not the restaurants, but like the food stands have their own garbage can.
yeah, of course. But I mean, like, a lot of like, this is like a terrible person. I don't know if you experience this at all, but in Japan, and I guess they might have in the U.S. too, but in Japan, there's a word for it that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. If you go to a restaurant, they charge you if you want to eat there. So like,
Yes, yes. There's like a yeah. Um, Sometimes they'll like give you like a little snack or something, but then
yeah,
you end up getting charged for it. I've heard, and like foreigners end up getting upset because they don't understand it.
yeah. So sometimes, like, because the places like they don't want you to linger there, but like I'm the kind of person I'm like I'm not paying that. I'm not paying your sit down fee, which usually does come with an hors d'oeuvre or something like that. I'm like I'm not paying that, so I'm gonna eat outside after
Oh,
my
sneaky, sneaky.
and
Uh,
like they're obviously like that's a terrible thing to do, but I'm also a terrible foreigner, so they're just gonna be like, just they're gonna talk shit about me the second I walk away.
Manuel, is the term you're
But
looking for otoshi?
yes,
Yeah, that's what it is.
yes, it's funny because like every like most places have a menu outside, so like you could if you know what to look for, you could see that there's gonna be a charge for it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like usually on the bottom, like the same way it talks about gratuity or whatever. Um, so yeah, did you have fun with no tipping?
I love it. Like I love that like you can just like look at the menu and you see the price and you're like, okay, that's what's gonna be.
Yeah,
And
no awkward moments at the end.
the food is so cheap there. Like I think it's partially due to the yen being like weak right now. But we had meals where it was $8 for the two of us combined, like for
Well,
dinner. It was
yeah.
crazy.
Well, the yen is terrible right now. Whenever I used to go, well, when I went the first time, like when I was really young, the yen was about the same conversion rate it is now. But when I went, like, I haven't gone since before the pandemic. When I went before the pandemic a bunch of times, um, I forgot what it was under. It was under 100 yen though. Like the exchange rate was like 80 something to $1. So
Oh,
it was almost half. Like not quite,
yeah,
but like
basically.
basically about half of what it is now, which is insane to think about. But it was still cheap then. But it depends on where you go. Did you go eat at a lot of nice places? Or did you go to a lot of family restaurants like Jonathan's or Denny's or?
We didn't go to family restaurants, but we went to like junk food places, is what I've been told. Because I love curry. Like I love
Oh,
curry so much. That's my favorite thing. Is like katsu curry. So I went to a bunch of curry places.
did you go? What's that one with the gorilla? The what's that gorilla one called? Hold on, Japan gorilla curry.
Is that the
Like
cocoa one? I'm not sure.
no,
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
Go Go Curry. Yeah, it's called
Oh,
Go Go
go go.
Curry.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Um, it has a gorilla in the logo, and that's one of my favorite ones. Only because it's not here. Like we have Coco Ichibanya, and we used to have even curry houses here in the U.S. Well, on the West Coast. I don't know if you have them where you're at, but
No, definitely not.
so I'm always like, even though Coco Ichibanya is like the most popular one there, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna go, because like I can get that at home.
Right.
I'm a snob like that. But no, there's like Pepper Lunch and like what are the other chains I can't think of off the top of my head? Like you go to Moss Burger and get their like their soy
No, we
burger.
didn't get like any like American style food, I guess, because it was like we're in Japan, we're not gonna eat hamburgers.
But the soy burger is known for being really disgusting because it's like
Well, why
covered
would
in
I want
soy.
that? Why would I want that?
Because it's disgusting. So wait, you didn't go to get like McDonald's for breakfast because they serve chicken nuggets with breakfast.
No, we didn't do McDonald's. The only like American place we went to actually was Starbucks, because there was a Starbucks on top of Shibuya Sky,
Did
so
you
like the big
notice that
observation
they
deck.
have a smaller small?
I did notice that.
They have a smaller small.
Actually, I was
Like
kind of worried because I kept reading online that like, oh, all the portions are smaller in Japan, and I was like, oh, I don't know if like, what if I order food and it's not filling? But I didn't really have that problem. Like, I always ended up feeling full. Whereas, like, I think in America, if I eat the full meal, I usually end up regretting it. So it was kind of nice.
yeah. And Japan's not big on taking things out with you, so it's like eat everything you can while you're there.
Yeah, like I think if you ask to take something to like in a doggy bag, they'll be very confused, from my understanding.
Yeah, and most places just won't, like period.
Yeah,
Like
they probably don't even have like the containers and stuff for it.
exactly, like why would they? Oh yeah, you had a lot of food adventures, you had a lot of fun. Where'd you go specifically?
Yeah, so we started out in Tokyo. We did like a week there, mostly just doing Akihabara, and then like little day trips going to like Ikebukuro and places, Shinjuku, and then we went to Takayama for like half a week, which is in the Gifu prefecture. So it's like a mountainy area. So way more out in the boonies. And that's a really pretty city, but still it's still a city, like there's still stuff around there. And we took a day trip from there to go to Shirakawago, which is like a World Heritage Site. It has like all these like old fashioned retro like thatched roof houses. So it's super scenic and pretty. Um, and it's also the location that Hinamizawa from Higurashi was based off of. So like the
Oh
entire
yeah.
city, like if you play the Higurashi games, the actual pictures they use in the games are pictures from that city, or that town rather. I don't even know if it's big enough to be considered a city. I think it's more like a village.
Do either you or Mr. Fangy speak Japanese?
Not really, no. I just know like random words from anime.
Oh my
So I
god. So
just
how
like
was it like
I
traveling?
mostly like sumimasen my way through things. Um, but honestly, like a lot of stuff was in English in Tokyo. Like people would have English menus. Even like the like digital ordering systems would usually have like an English button
Yeah.
you could press to convert it to English. Especially if it was like any kind of like big chain restaurant. Um, most like stores and like restaurants, like if you spoke English, they'd be like, like 1 second, and they'd go get someone else who would speak English. So, and even like in the couple cases where there are people that didn't, we were fine with Google Lens and like Google Translate. Like, and everyone else would use it too. Everyone has cell phones. So like the store employee would pull out Google Translate or whatever, and she would say something into her phone, and then it would like text to speech say it to me in English. So it was like
we want you to leave.
no. Actually, everyone was really nice. We didn't like I was a little scared because I've read online like some places will be like no foreigners for like the restaurants. Like some people have like signs like that, but we didn't experience that even out in the countryside.
Oh,
I
that's
was
funny.
a little nervous.
I actually know of a few places that are always like that. Like I don't know if they still. Once again, I'm not sure if these places still exist. 'Cause I haven't been in about like 3 years now. So well, I went right at the tail end of 2019 the last time. So
Oh, so right before the
yeah,
pandemic.
like right
You
before.
lucked out.
But there were a lot of places I knew of. There's this place in Harajuku. Did you go to Harajuku on Takashita Street?
We did, yeah.
There's a store like right in smack in the middle of it that has all these signs with like no for. It's like really rude too. Like I'm not gonna say all the stuff. It's like no foreigners allowed. Like "F you foreigners." Like signs like on the store, and it's like oh. And then of course I went in there anyway. And I think that's kind of I think that's kind of their shtick. Like it's like going to one of those rude restaurants like where they're like the servers are really mean to you.
Oh yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. I don't think the guy is like nice or whatever, but like I think that like he'll still take your money. And I think it works for him to like be really like like assholey like that, so people wander in. But yeah, and there's a few bars in Golden Guy specifically in Shinjuku where it'll have signs that says no foreigners, or no foreign men. Because most places
Oh.
like a bar will still allow a foreign woman to walk in there, but it'll be like no foreign men. So yeah, and that's actually a lot more common in some other like mostly in the dive bars, but I assume we didn't go to any of those. So.
No, we didn't go to any bars.
Oh.
I'm not a drinker.
Well,
So
even if you're not, there's
Mr.
still
Fanny had to get
places.
drinks like with dinner.
Oh, I mean, that's still fun. They have like if you go to some food places, they have like the all you could drink menus. I'm not sure if you did that, but I'm just saying like it's the kind of thing that a foreigner would just abuse a foreigner like Manuel who goes to an all you drink place. It's like
Yeah,
$15 for unlimited alcohol.
they had that at the karaoke place we went to actually. It was like all you can drink soda and like all you can eat ice cream.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I love karaoke. I once again I have not actually I'm lying. I did go semi recently during a recent AX. Never mind, but still, I love karaoke. I've been to I used to go all the time before the pandemic. I used to make trips, not to Japan, but I used to make trips to like I live like in LA. I used to make trips to go up to NorCal to San Francisco, like just to go karaoke with some of my San Francisco friends. Oh, I
We don't
miss
really have
karaoke.
that like where I am, at least in the East Coast. Like the only kind of karaoke type stuff you have is like at like a bar, like open karaoke type
I
things.
hate those.
Not like the private rooms that you rent with your friends.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
had
was very
that
like
before.
mesmerized by the Japanese kind.
Oh, is that your first time at a karaoke place too?
Yeah, yep. Hmm.
Oh wow! I'm not gonna lie. The very first time I went to one, it was a while ago. Because there's unfortunately most of the chains that we have locally have closed down too. But there used to be a lot more locally to me, like in the Torrance area. And I used to go. I remember when I went there with a friend, like gosh, ages ago now. But like the first time I ever went, I'm like, I'm not gonna sing. And then it's like, well, I'm just in a little booth with my friends. Of course I'm gonna fucking sing. Like everyone, you gotta hear me do a Slipknot song.
Yeah, like once you get there, you end up singing along too.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
mostly wanted to do the karaoke because like it comes up in like every anime and manga eventually. Like if
also,
it's any like high school setting, like eventually they go to karaoke.
you,
And I was like, I kind
you
of wanted to see
literally
what it's like.
you literally took an anime trip.
Pretty much. Oh, yeah, basically, because we did the Higurashi town, we did karaoke, and we also did we went to the Your Name shrine. Did
Wait.
you the Makoto Shinkai movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so more specifically, the stairs. There's
Oh,
a shrine up top too, but everyone wants to see the stairs.
you went to Japan's Joker stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I had to
Joker
explain that to her.
stairs?
Didn't I already explain
the
this to you, Fangy?
Oh wait, you did tell me. You
the
did.
Joker stairs in New York.
Yes, you did. I do remember that.
It's just the other famous staircase in the world.
No,
I'm
the
sure there's
extra
several.
stairs are famous too.
Oh yeah, those are famous. That's where the guy. That's where that guy died at the end.
Yes.
And the Rocky stairs count, but yeah. Anyway,
So yeah, we
that's
did the week in Tokyo, like half a week in Takayama and Shirakawago, and then we wrapped up the trip with a couple of days in Aomori at one of the Hoshino resort places, and that was like a whole apple themed apple themed hotel and like restaurant and whatnot. And they had a really awesome hot spring there.
Talk about the hot spring. I've never been to a hot spring before.
What? You've
Yeah,
never
I've never
you've never been to the
ever.
onsen before?
Nope.
How many times have you been to Japan?
Like 6, 7.
What the heck? Why not?
Because I usually just stay in the city and I go drink and then I just come back
That's
to the
fair. I
hotel.
guess you don't really get good hot springs in the
I've
city.
never also been to the I've never been to the country. I've been to Tokyo mainly. I've been to Osaka once and I've been to Kyoto once. I've been to Osaka twice, Kyoto once. And that's all my travels have been. It's 99% Tokyo.
Yeah, the more you learn about
Yeah.
Manuel, the more you learn that his habits are just going somewhere and drinking.
Well, to be fair, the last times I went specifically, they weren't totally like business. Actually, almost all the times I went recently, except for that first time when I was really young, have been semi-business trips. Like I wrote them off for various reasons, and stuff like that. Even though I was there for like long stretches for them.
I gotta figure out a way to do that.
Well, there's some fun ways that I was doing before the pandemic that I was, and it was funny towards the end. Like I remember, like I was so annoyed when I had to go to Japan. Because like TLDR, like
Why?
it's too complicated to explain, but basically I had a thing where I would go to Southeast Asia a lot. Like usually Taiwan was the easiest place to go to. And every so often it's like, oh, when you get here, we're gonna have to go to Japan for a week. And I'm like, oh, is it at least Tokyo? It's like, yeah, like fine. I'm just gonna drink and stay in the hotel.
That's so funny because like I enjoyed the countryside areas and like the mountains the most.
To be
I was a
fair,
little
I think,
overwhelmed
yeah,
in Tokyo.
I'm not a like quiet person, like a quiet life
Oh
person.
no, I'm a quiet person. Well, that's why I like the hot springs too, because like you just sit there and relax. And the one we went to was it was actually an outdoors one, and it's right next to a waterfall. I don't know if you can see like the picture that
Let's see.
JD put on the stream, but it was
Oh
like a
yeah.
slightly sulfurous one, so the water was like blue, and it was so pretty, and like you just sit in there and you hear the waterfall, and it's so nice. It was heaven. And they let you do private rentals on the weekends, so that's what we did. So we actually had the whole place to ourselves for like 2 hours. And this is like a hot spring that can fit, like 20 plus people. And it was
What the
just
hell?
us. Yeah, and even the bus driver that took us there, because you have to take a bus from the hotel, he could speak a little bit of English to us, and he was like, "It's okay to swim if you want," which like you're not supposed to do in hot springs.
I know.
But since it was just the two of us, he was just like, "Do whatever you want, have fun."
That's wild. See that I see how that could be fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not fun, but to Manuel's mindset, just the whole time I'd be there, the whole time I'd be on a fucking bus to get up there, I'd be like, man,
I could be
what's
drinking
going
right now.
I'm like, I bet all my friends back in the city are drinking. Why aren't I with them? And then and then even if I was like trying to relax, I'm like, is there any alcohol? Okay, I sound like an
I mean,
alcoholic. I swear to God,
actually,
I'm not an alcoholic.
You sure
right after
about
we
that,
got out of the
Manuel?
hot springs, the bus driver, they had like a fridge inside the building, and he gave us beer and apple cider afterwards. To like, because
What?
you're in the water, so you gotta like rehydrate afterwards.
I don't know if alcohol will do that.
I don't
Al-
know either, but
Alcohol and water sound like the worst combination ever.
there's actually no, there's like a TV show in Japan. I don't remember the name of it. I watched it. It was on Netflix, and it's about this salaryman who skips work to go to the public bath and then drink beer. And that's like every episode. He just skips work, goes to the bath, and drinks beer.
Man, I mean that sounds like the life though.
Right?
I don't know. Did you at least, speaking of drink? Oh wait, I guess you did. Did Mr. Fangy at least take advantage of the fact you could drink openly?
Not really, because he was mostly drinking at like dinner time.
Oh, okay.
Um, when we were like out on the streets, we were mostly like drinking like water and tea.
Oh, okay. I mean, because like I of course did that. I've told this story in the past, but I remember one time, I used to like pre-gaming and post-gaming at like a convenience store, like with alcohol, just to like
Dude, it's like cheap there too.
it's so cheap. I remember back then, like like strong zeros, the sparkling sake, they'd be like 300 yen. Even back then, it was like $3, and it would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like
And today that would be like
insane.
$1.50.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, I hate the exchange rate I went to back then. But anyway, I used to always do that. I remember one time I went to the convenience store after a crazy night of drinking at Golden Guy. I just wanted to take a couple more drinks before I went back to the hotel room. And like there was a contest like at the convenience store where like if you spent so many dollars you could get a ticket and you would open it and you get a prize. And I swear to God, this attendant at the fucking convenience was just like messing with me because I'd been going there like the entire week. And they kept giving me all these tickets, and I kept winning all these drinks. And I'm like,
That's
"It's
awesome.
fine, it's fine. Just keep the drink. I'm trying to leave." I was like, "No, no, no!" And she would run, and I'm like, she's like, "Oh, the drink's in that." I'm like, "No, it's fine. I don't want it. Just give it to the next person." And she'd be like, "No, no!" And she'd run and get it. And I ended up walking back to the hotel with like bags of all these drinks I'd won.
That is so funny. I
It
was
was
surprised convenience stores, the employees there are really nice and like whenever you buy something there, they like give you like here's a wet wipe,
yeah.
here's a spoon for your pudding, here's they like give you everything you need. It's amazing.
I could live at a 7-Eleven in Japan and just
You
live.
really could.
They even have the good ATMs there that like you can take out the your money from your bank, which in my experience, I don't know if this has changed, but in my experience, and even if you're not in Japan, even like you're in Taiwan or in any Southeast Asian country for sure, the rates at the 7-Eleven ATM are cheaper than anywhere you would go to exchange your money.
Yeah, in Japan at least it was like a $2 fee, I think, and that was it for taking money out of the 7-Eleven ATM.
Yeah, but
Was
like just grab a few $100s and there
Yep,
you go.
that's basically what we did.
Yeah, it's so easy, so convenient. It's so convenient. And I'm not sure if you went to any concerts there, but if you do, there's little kiosks where you could print those out too at the place, like tickets and stuff to events and concerts. Um,
So all the all the musicians and people and stuff that I liked had like concerts like right before or right after.
oh,
So
that's
there
terrible.
weren't
Perfect
like really
time.
any like events that we got to attend to, unfortunately.
I went to go see. Shit, I don't remember the name. Oh, Dempagumi Inc. I went to go see Dempagumi Inc. there one time with a friend, and I remember I got there, and like we had just done an interview, like A to J had, so I had like my bag was full of camera equipment, like tons of camera equipment, like an actual big camera, like 2 video cameras, audio recorder, and I start walking in there. The security, I'm like, wait a minute, I should have left this at the station. They're not gonna let me bring it in. And I get to the front, and like I put my bag down at the thing, and she asked me right away, "Are there any cameras inside?" But like in Japanese, and like um, especially back then, my Japanese was like a and it really is like I know a lot of people say like I understand a lot more, but I can't speak it. But back then, that really was the case. Like now, I could speak pretty decent if I wanted to, but but back then I was just like, I heard her tell me that, and I was like, yes, I have lots of cameras in
Oh
there.
my god.
And I spoke to her in English though, and she was so confused that I answered back in English, but like I nodded, and
Yeah,
she
yeah.
she kept looking at the bag at me, and she just waved me on. And I beat when I came through the fucking metal detector too, so I was just like all sorts of trouble, and she just did not want to deal with me.
Yeah, yeah.
She just
I
clearly did
think that
not want to deal
happens
with
a
me.
lot.
But yeah, I went to so I've been to a few concerts in Japan. It's a much different experience. It's unfortunate you couldn't go to any. I mean to
Yeah, I
say.
want to go to one with like the light sticks. I
Yeah,
want to see people with
exactly.
the light sticks, and I don't know, like I've seen like videos of like Otake, and I want to see that. I don't
And
know if
it's
it
funny.
actually happens at
It does.
concerts.
It
I want to
does.
see it so bad.
And like it's a lot more in unison. And in case you're wondering, like, 'cause I've been to a couple idol concerts specifically. I went to some very like tiny ones in some little venues that were not up to fire code in the U.S. Um, and so if you ever wonder this, like anyone in general, like how they know what to do on time, they rehearse it like in the lines usually. I mean, I'm sure they probably already
That
knew
sounds like
somewhere. Maybe
so
there's a
much
message
fun.
group. Yeah, they rehearse it. They're like they'll play the song like on their like phone or whatever, and they'll like rehearse what they're gonna do during it.
Yeah, I really wanted to go to like an amateur or like indie idol concert, but I like chickened out until like the end of the trip. And then on like the
Oh,
one day we went to there's like a cafe where like indie idols will be, like underground idols, and
yeah.
like you can like get drinks there and talk to them, then they do little shows. And like when we showed up, it was closed that day.
Oh, well, see, there's
After
a
I
lot of
finally like got the
places.
nerve. Because I felt very like nervous about going to like any like the like cafes where the people interact with you. Like I don't know if anyone else felt this way in Japan, but like because I don't know that much Japanese, I felt like I was like inconveniencing people. So like I didn't want to like go and have them be like, oh, this person doesn't know Japanese. How do I talk with them and get stressed out? You know?
Well, like you said,
I was
most
very
places are
worried.
nice. You didn't go to a maid cafe or anything?
No.
I actually don't like maid cafes. I think the experiences are a little awkward or whatever. But I've been to several for reasons. Like,
For reasons.
yeah, I remember when Ada J has interviewed Hitomi from the head of At Home Maid Cafe, which is like the premier maid cafe in Japan. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but like we interviewed her several times, like both in the US and in Japan. So like we've been served by Hitomi, and I remember it was so funny because we were there served with by her. Like I was trying to film an interview, and like people, we were actually in the cafe. So whenever like customers were, like it was still open. Whenever customers would come in, they would see Hitomi was actually there, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, it's like our queen or whatever." And it's just like, "Oh my god, we're trying to do work over here. Leave us alone." And then I had a friend, like a local idol friend, who ended up working at a maid cafe, and I had to the way I say it, I had to visit her. Wait, I visited her a couple times there.
Yeah, I think you're
And,
obligated to when it's a friend.
yeah, and but I don't know. It's fun though. I can see people would like it. I'm surprised you didn't go. Like it seems like it'd be up your alley.
I just
Or do
felt
you?
like super socially anxious about like not being able to speak Japanese.
Well,
Like
they specifically will have somebody, because especially like if it's a decent, not I don't say a decent, but like actually I'm pretty sure any maid cafe they would probably have somebody there who speaks some English for that purpose, especially in Tokyo.
well, it's a goal for next time because I definitely want to go again.
I'm surprised though, because like in Akihabara, like do they still have like the maid dreaming people that are like there's like
Oh
six
yeah,
there's
especially
like
like
six maid dreamers.
later in the day, there would just be like people right next to each other advertising for different cafes. There was even a cat boy, and I was so flustered. I was like, can't make eye contact.
It's funny because there's one thing I'll say too, because we actually did an episode of Bay Cafes a long time ago at A to J podcasting. And we actually had the friend of mine who worked at home, but she was like on the DL because she not supposed, because it's a big maid cafe, so she couldn't really talk about like that she was on it. But it's like
Yeah.
we have the inside thing. We had another maid from a local con cafe, and it's funny because one of the things we talked about there, going to going to like a butler cafe versus a maid cafe is a totally different experience. And it's going to a maid cafe, I think you could bring like a date or a family or your family to it or kids. But going to a butler cafe, it's like you're going there to like to get the yaoi vibes or to get flirted with yourself, particularly if you're by yourself. But yeah, it's like
Yeah. I would have felt
family
bad.
friendly host.
I would have felt bad like dragging Mr. Fangy to a butler cafe.
Shut up. That's the best. That's pretty much the only way he'd be able to go, really.
I
So
really wanted to do like I really want to go to like one of the cross dressing cafes. I know they have them for like both directions, but
uh, did you do anything any other random like crazy things like the robot restaurant or like
I think the robot restaurant shut down.
oh it did?
I think that was one of the places that shut down during COVID.
Oh shit. We
Yeah.
never got to see that. I think it was insane. Oops.
That's
Rest
what
in
I had
peace.
heard.
I mean, it
No,
wouldn't
but
surprise me.
we kind of tried to skip most of like the big touristy things. Cause they just don't really like line up with our interests as much. So we mostly just did weeaboo shit. But I also I did
Weeaboo
a
shit's
couple.
also
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, the weeaboo shit's also mainstreamy, isn't it?
That's true. That's true.
Anyway,
But
go
we were
on.
doing like pilgrimages. We were like going to specific like towns and stuff like that. But I did do some basic bitch stuff, which was we went to see Hachiko because I
Oh,
freaking
of
love
course.
dogs. So I had to get a picture with Hachiko. And then we also did Shibuya Sky, which is like the big observation deck. There's like Tokyo Tower,
Oh
and
yeah.
then there's like Skytree or whatever. And yeah,
I've never been to Korea Sky, yeah. I know of it, but I've never been there. I've been to Tokyo Tower. Um that's cool. So
yeah, those
you
were
did
like the two big touristy things we did.
okay. I
And then like
mean,
hitting up like big malls and places, like Sunshine City and whatnot. Shibuya
oh yeah.
109.
Did you go to you went to the Pokemon store,
Yes,
Pokemon
it
Center,
was
whatever it's called?
amazing. The one in Ikebukuro was the best. I think that was the one that had like all the statues and stuff.
Yeah.
That was
That's
great.
I love that one. The it's funny because like you mentioned to go to Ikebukuro, and depending on where you got off, like on the train. I mean, the train, one of the train, I can't remember which one, like not the JR, but like the subway one that leaves you where like their red light district is, like when you come up. And it's the sketchy red light district. So you might, if you go there late enough, it's like actually like it's like actually seeing like a scene out of Yakuza, like the game. Uh, it's like, oh look, actual scary people over there.
I kind of
Also,
like I know it's probably not good, but part of me like kind of wants to see like a yakuza or like delinquents. I want to see like stereotypical delinquents. They have like the bleach blonde hair and like the like old school uniforms. I want to see that.
if you go to Yoyogi Park, which is like outside of Harajuku, like by the Beiji Shrine, did you go to that? Because the Beiji Shrine is like right by Takashita Street.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's where it has I was talking about. I forgot what stream I was talking about this recently. It has the Gantz. I don't know if you've ever seen Gantz. It has the Gantz statues. Like they come to life. They're like Buddhist, like something, but like in Gantz they come to life. And I'm like, remember when I first saw it, when I first went there, I'm like, it's from Gantz. Fucking Weeb I am, but yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm surprised. Like I guess it's a touristy place, but if I'm not mistaken, that's the place where Logan Paul like threw the coin down. He's all like mad respect. If you ever see like
No, I do not wish to give him any views.
but it's
It's a
still kind of
good thing.
it made the rounds. Like I don't know, but anyway, my point to bring this up is Yoyogi Park, the park that's in front between Takashita Street and the Meiji Jingu Shrine. That's a very delinquent-filled park.
Is it? Yeah, I want to see them like late at night outside the convenience store smoking.
No, a fun fact.
I would be
Speaking of
so
smoking,
tickled.
I used to. That's a funny, but yeah, I remember like I went to a concert there, and we ended up walking back. 'Cause I think we missed the last train, so we were walking back to Shinjuku, and we walked across the park, and the I walked across, and I'm like, someone is smoking weed, and I looked to the left, and it was like stereotypical looking like Japanese delinquents right there. I'm like, wow. I almost wanted to go up to them, like,
It's a real thing.
yeah,
They're actually breaking the law.
exactly, like literally breaking the law. They could go to real jail for that.
Yeah, like Japan takes that stuff seriously.
And
They're very
it's so
hardcore about
open.
marijuana.
It's so open. You could smell. Well, I guess that's probably what they're doing in the park because you could see people walking from far away. So,
Yeah, that
uh,
could be.
but yeah, it was just like I was like, what the hell? But yeah, that's also if you go there during the day, a lot of bands. Well, it used to be like bands which is literally set up there. You see it sometimes. Now it's mostly idols, which is so cool.
I
You
want
can
to
go
see
there.
that too.
Yeah, you can go there. You can see like a lot
This
of
is
like idols
Yoyogi, you
doing
said?
idols doing guerrilla lives there.
Okay, I'll add this to my list for next time.
Yeah, it's like it's right behind the train station. Like when you get off, you'll notice like, hey, there's like a park behind here, and you just go into it. Yeah. And if you go behind that, it's where the shrine is. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, it's like I said, definitely there's a lot of idols there. But like I said, used to be back in the day, like literal bands would set up. I think at some point they stopped allowing drum kits there. So
Oh, so now it's just idols. I see.
yeah, and if they do, it'll be like an acoustic set. But yeah, it's still it's cool.
Yeah, that
But yeah,
sounds
it's
fun.
cool.
Just like to hang out there and people watch.
Smoke some weed. Don't smoke the weed.
No.
Don't
I
go
did
to
not
the
want to get kicked out of Japan.
For the record, I don't know if it's legal in New York, but it's definitely legal here. So don't come at us.
No, it's legal here. Don't worry,
Yeah,
it's legal.
everyone smokes the weed, or maybe don't. But yeah, that's cool. Uh, did you happen to see any good? Was it set up for the holidays? If you went there right after Halloween and you
Well,
went there
so
like,
we went there. We arrived on October 30th, so the day before Halloween.
oh,
But there was this whole thing this year with like, don't go to Shibuya for Halloween. Like, we're serious. We're gonna arrest you if you go to Shibuya for Halloween. I don't know if they actually like enforced it or if it was just a bunch of talk. But it scared me away, so we did not go to Shibuya.
I would have still gone.
But
I'm a delinquent though.
most of what I just saw was like cafes having themed stuff. Like Starbucks, some places all had to have their own like little Halloween drinks. That was the main like festive stuff I saw for Halloween. And as soon as like Halloween was over, the very next day, Christmas music everywhere,
Yep.
freaking everywhere, and lights, Christmas
And would've
lights.
still- So I mean, Yuji still just came from a Japan trip too recently. Everyone went to Japan. Everyone went to Japan this year, but me. I feel like I don't want to say this. And I'll come back to the Christmas light thing in a second, but I don't want to say this to like. I feel okay. I would definitely say this to somebody who's been there before, but I feel bad saying it to somebody who's only gone post pandemic. and obviously I haven't been there since pandemic, but I still say it was, even though I was paying a hell of a lot more, going pre-pandemic was just, it hit different.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's like much more crowded now too,
Yeah.
and like a bunch of places closed during the pandemic.
But a lot of my favorite bars are gone. Some of them, like, they used it used to be that almost all the bars, like, it was like everything was back to alcohol. A lot of bars would stay open until the first train, like till 5 in the morning. And apparently they changed like ordinances around Shinjuku, so a lot of them now close at 2 or 3 a.m. And it's like, oh, so it's like the U.S. That was one of the few good things you could do in Japan. It's just like drink all night, like literally. Um, Shit like that. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. Anyways, Christmas lights and stuff. Let's talk. Tell me more about that. Like I haven't been since it was Christmas in a while.
Just like as soon as it was November 1st, all the trees on the streets, people were like hanging up Christmas lights and stuff like that. And the lobby of like every store and place, Christmas music. Which is just, it's weird to hear like religious like Christmas music, I guess, in like a different country that doesn't really like they don't really celebrate Christmas as like a traditional thing. It's more like, let's eat cake
It's a
with our
romantic holiday
lovers.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it was kind of a surprise to us.
I remember like I haven't done it like too much recently, but I guess I am a fucking weeb because like I still get Christmas cakes around here, like for Christmas, like at the local Japanese supermarkets and shit like that. And I've never been able to spend Christmas in Japan, and that would be the one thing I would still want to do. Like even though I was talking shit earlier, like I have to go back to Japan, like all that time. If it was happening on Christmas, I'd be like, yeah, I'll fucking go. I've been there during the season. I've seen the Christmas lights. I've seen like the really cool decorations. It's very California-y where it still doesn't get that cold, even though supposedly it snows. I've never seen snow in Tokyo,
Well, yeah, we were
but
there in November and it was 70 degrees some of the days. It was insane.
exactly, yeah, it's like it's very tropical. I mean, it snows further north, but like in Tokyo, I'm like, does it actually snow there? I mean, I'm sure it does because it says it does. But like, if you ever watch like a drama or something like that, when it gets to the Christmas episode, it'll be snowing like during the,
Yeah.
and I'm like, is that real?
I mean,
But
even in New York though, sometimes we're getting close to Christmas without much snow. The
does it
weather's
snow in
getting
New York?
weird. Huh?
Does
Of
it snow in
course.
New?
It's super snowy.
Really?
New York's up north.
Oh,
Yeah.
Manuel knows
It's a
his
very snowy
geography.
state.
Yeah, sorry,
Very.
Manuel hasn't been up there since it was a colony, so he doesn't remember the exact borders.
Shut up. I've never seen snowfall, and that's always been one of my things to like on my bucket list. I'm like, I want to see snowfall one day.
Listen, what you gotta do, go to
Yeah.
Japan when it's around Christmas, go to the hot springs, sit in the hot spring as the snow is falling. It'll feel so good. You have no idea. The hot water and
Uh,
then the cold snow hitting your face.
Next year, I think that'll be my goal for next year.
Yeah.
That's my short term goal. I need to go to Japan at least one more time just to go like during the holidays. It's funny because the last time I went and then the pandemic happened, I was like, I'm never going back to Japan. There's no reason to, and I'm just never going.
I've seen everything. I've drank at every bar.
Exactly. I was say like I drunk at every bar. I drunk everything I want to drink. Like, what's the point anymore? Like, I'll just go hang out in Taiwan or whatever, or like, or somewhere else like Southeast Asia. That's a bit more up my alley. But it's like, yeah. But then even there, I've been going on about like loving to hang out in Taiwan and whatever. But I go there. I'll fucking go to Taipei, go to Ximending, which is the Shinjuku equivalent.
Oh, okay, yeah, like the happening place.
Yeah, I'll go to the Shinjuku equivalent of whatever like country I'm in, city I'm in, and just hang out there and drink. You gotta drink and party. It's like I will say this though: if anyone ever is looking into traveling in Southeast Asia, only Japan, and I guess Malaysia, because one of their main languages is English. Only Japan is really, 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 really foreigner friendly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as
Do
in
you
like
mean
you'll
like
find
that? Do
people
you mean
speaking
that in
English.
terms of? Oh yeah, in terms of people speaking the language, or in terms of like racism?
Oh, I mean, like you don't encounter racism everywhere, but that's another cup of can of worms. In It's funny because like I've been to Taipei countless times. Well, like not countless, but like several, more than even Japan. And there are times when it still shocks me, like where I will go an entire day and I'll be the only foreigner I'll ever see.
That's kind of what it was like when we were in like the mountainy places and up north.
Did that feel weird? Because it feels weird to me when I'm in some places like that.
It does feel a little weird. There was one point, the last hotel we went to up north, they have this big like buffet room because they do like this whole buffet that's like all apple themed and whatnot. Uh, and when they brought us in, like they seat you and they like seat us in this corner, like far away from everyone else. And I was like, oh my god, are we like in the foreigner section? But then more people came and they put more people over there. But at first I was like, oh my god, is it because we're the only white people?
They probably did
Is
put
this
you
the
there,
white
but then it
people
got
corner?
busy. And then they got busy. It's like, I guess we have to put we have to put them with the undesirables.
But yeah, like oftentimes, even in Tokyo, oftentimes when we were on the subway, we would often be the only non-Japanese people on the train. Which I don't know, it does feel it's a little strange.
Was it strange doing like getting used to all the cultural norms, like walking on the side of the fucking escalator or on the side of anywhere? Because like everywhere you're supposed to like walk, like even when you're walking on the station, the stations. I don't know if you ever noticed that you're supposed to keep to the left.
I kind of like it, like I like it when everything's like orderly and like we're on the train, we're all gonna sit and be quiet, and just like
Oh my!
everything's like. So I'm an introvert too, so like I feel like the like culture there is a little bit easier for me than American is sometimes. It's like we can just sit quietly and not talk to each other.
Yuji's like it was the same in Osaka when she was the only person there. And when I went to Osaka, I was also like the only. Well, I was with foreign friends, but like we were like that group. But we met a lot of people who were like spoke English and were just like, ah, foreigner, hey, what's up? Let's talk. Let's hang. Let's speak English to you.
See, we didn't encounter that at all, really. Like I think only like 3 people talked to us that like weren't employees, But I
Really?
think, yeah, but I think that's probably because you're like going to like bars and places where maybe people are like more social.
I guess it does make sense. Yeah.
But yeah, we only had like 3 people try and talk to us. One of them,
Uh,
one of them was a nice old lady though, and she tried to talk to me in Japanese. She didn't know English, but like I could understand enough words to understand. She was giving me some oranges. she
oh,
gave
did you get it? You
She
got it.
we were like waiting in line for the Shinkansen, and she just like gave me a bag of oranges and was like taberu or something, and I was like, oh, arigato. And she was like all bashful too. It was like super cute.
By the way, I love the arigato. It was like such that was such the most like white bread pronunciation of arigato I've ever heard in
I
my
know.
life. I hope
I
that
can't
was
help it.
intentional. Arigato. Gozaimasu.
Konnichiwa.
It's funny because like oh shit, I dropped my thing. But it's funny because like you mentioned way earlier about like sumimasening your way through.
Yeah.
Uh, fun fact, I don't know if it's still the same, but I remember like I was there with a friend of mine, Tiffany, who's like she's Japanese and like well she's like lives here, but she's like culture Japanese, knows Japanese, been to Japan several times because of family, so on. And I was there with her, and she's like, Manuel, you can't say sumimasen and then wait for them to move. That's not how you do things. I don't know if you did this, by the way. You have
No,
to
I'm
just
kind of oblivious, so like I would accidentally bump into people and then I would sumimasen.
exactly. Like she's like you're using the sumimasen wrong. It's like you have to just either squeeze past them, bump into them, move them out the way, and then sumimasen. And
I
she's
was
like
a
that.
little oh, sorry.
That's it. I'm just saying.
I was a little surprised because like uh there were some guys that like bumped into me and they did not give me a sumimasen. And I was like, I felt robbed. I was
You
like, I'm
felt wrong.
sumimasening you guys. Why aren't you giving me a sumimasen?
You're beneath. You're
I
beneath
don't
them.
know. I guess maybe they're like, get out of here, random foreign girl.
Like we don't
Get
want
out the
your time.
way. Boom, gaijin, get out the way.
That's funny. I don't know. Like, see, JD, don't you want to go to Japan now and like get the gaijin experience?
I mean, not for that reason, but yes, I do want to go to Japan.
You want to go do the Weeb thing? Did you get the JR pass?
We did, yeah. We got the rail pass.
Did you
Um,
actually make it worthwhile?
we did because we went
Oh, well,
from
you went to the
Tokyo
cities, yeah.
to Gifu, back to Tokyo to Aomori, back to Tokyo. So it did end up paying off. And actually, the
It's-
price was raised like right after we went.
You know how many people I know who buy that and stay in Tokyo and then get upset because they've wasted hundreds of dollars? And I'm like, yeah. It's like,
Yeah, I don't think people
so
realize
many
it's
people.
for the long
Exactly.
travel.
I actually forgot you did that. I always feel like that's a first timer's mistake, like for like big mistake, because they always tell you to get it. I've had friends tell me to get it, and I'm like, does everyone go to other cities? Or they just think that's the way you do the train there, or like the sub. And it's only good for the train too. So like, I mainly take the subway stuff because like that's where like the.
Uh, you can use some for like the JR lines in Tokyo though.
I don't remember what the other lines are called, but there's like I think it's like Tokyo Rail or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
That's usually what I take instead. I mean, not because I care, but that's just the line I take. Usually, and it's just like, oh, well, the path wouldn't have been good here anyway.
Yeah, we used I guess the Tokyo Rail or whatever until halfway through when we got the rail pass, and then after that we started taking the JR ones just because saves a little money. Oh, but I love my little card, the like little the what do you call it? Suica?
Oh, do they
My
still
little
give
Suica
those?
card?
I heard something about like they're not.
They don't. They do they do temporary ones for travelers now
Yeah,
that just like last for your trip. But my friends had one from when they went, so it was like the old kind.
yeah. I still
But
have
it
a
was
bunch of my old
amazing.
ones. I
Just
love
like
my super card.
you just tap it. You just tap it and you're good to go.
And I don't know if you bothered with it, but you could just pay with that in a lot of places too.
And
You-
vending machines. A lot of vending machines
Yeah,
used it.
exactly. It's like super convenient, super cool. I lost one that had a ton of money on it, and I hated it. I hated myself for like the rest of that trip, but that's another
Oh
story.
no.
But yeah, I have several, and it was because I also lose them. But it's funny because like I heard that recently. Like, really, I don't know if you know this, but like even if you had the old ones like I did, you're supposed to turn those in. You're not supposed to take them with you.
Oh
I don't know.
really?
Yeah, I don't know what the reasoning is, but you're supposed to put them back in the machine. They give you back the money. 'Cause there is a deposit for the card, like $1 or two, and they give you back the money, and then it's like, oh, here you go, have a nice time, foreigner, get out of the country.
I guess
So
I'm a criminal.
you stole it.
I did. It wasn't even mine, it was my friend's.
You're a
So I'm
thief.
like extra crime.
The Suica game that everyone's talking about. No, it is not the Suica game. It's funny because I was talking to someone. This is a random aside, but I was talking to a friend about the Suica game the other day. They're like, "Oh, because we were playing at a con, like in the hotel room," and they're like, "It's like that game 2024. Is that what that one's called? The one where you put the
2048.
numbers, whatever." Yeah, 2048. And I'm like, "It is," and I never thought of it like that.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I was like, "What the hell?" Anyways. But yeah, so you got to actually use the rail pass and everything like that. That's crazy. It's like, yeah, I never. Well, like I already told you, I never really leave Tokyo if I go.
So did you take the Shinkansen ever or no, not at all?
No, I took even when I went to Osaka, the one main time I went because I didn't go there twice into Kyoto, but the one main time I purposely went to Osaka, I flew there where I didn't
Oh.
Well, I didn't because the other times that I went to Kyoto and Osaka, I flew there from like where I was coming from, but I flew domestically, as I'm trying to say, like from Tokyo to Osaka. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so yeah,
Dude, you gotta try the Shinkansen sometime. Like, it was so nice. There's so much space. It's not like a plane at all. There's so much room for your legs.
it's not like a plane.
I
Well,
was so excited.
flying domestically in Japan's a lot simpler, I think, than flying domestically in the U.S. It's a
Is it?
bit less nonsense than like the airport BS we have here. A bit
Oh, I
less.
did notice that. Like, coming in, like, leaving the US versus like leaving Japan, or even like coming into Japan, like, oh, you guys aren't gonna like pat me down or anything? Like, what?
I know.
There was like a guy and I tried to give him my passport and he was like, I don't want that. I don't need that.
I
I'm
don't
like,
care
oh,
who you
okay.
are.
They didn't like look at my luggage or anything ever.
Oh,
It was weird.
I think there's a flag on my passport or something like that that has people search me. It's complicated. I don't know if I ever told JD the story, but like one time when I was coming from Mexico, I brought meat, and
Oh, yeah, they have signs that say like, don't bring any meat or eggs or plant
okay,
life.
apparently Manuel can't read, and like I brought meat,
Oh
and
no.
like and I mean it's so long past the point. I wouldn't lie and say like I was trying to stick it out. But yeah, I really didn't know, and I just brought meat, and like it was this huge issue. Like I did pay a little fine, but nothing crazy happened. But like I think ever since then they flagged me because every time I go, and it's funny because I've gone with many people, and I'm like, what? They're gonna stop me, and they stop me, and they search my bags.
Yeah, it's on your permanent record now.
Yeah, so like I get stopped everywhere. And in Japan, it was funny because when I went back to Japan, the one of the first times, like in 2016 or something like that, I was there with that friend Tiffany I mentioned earlier, and she's like, "Oh, they're not gonna stop you. Like it's whatever. Like I know, but they're not gonna stop you here." And like when it came time for me to go through the thing, like and I swiped my passport or whatever, um, even the guy seemed confused that he had to search me.
Like it's the meat man.
Yeah, like he looked at his screen and he looked confused. He's like, "Oh," and he pulled out they're even very nice the way they search you in Japan. Like he had to open my luggage, but he had like a special case where you put my stuff in, so it never even touched like the counter. And a
That's
little
way
cushion
nicer than in
inside.
the
Yeah,
US.
like and he took everything out neatly and let me put everything back neatly. Like if that was the US, they would just make a huge mess of my bag, and then like as soon as they're done, even though I have this huge mess, like move, carry it on, move, get the fuck out of my lane. Like this, but yeah, it was so much
Wait,
nicer.
JD, you made my name criminal. JD,
I made
put
Manuel's
it
a
back,
weeb
put
for
it
like 10
back.
minutes.
Oh,
Manuel's a criminal too. He tried to bring the meat. He's
that's
the meat bandit.
the meat bandit. It's funny because I've done like when I went to one of the times I went to Taiwan, not even the first time. Um, I didn't realize that there was well, I knew there was a limit on how much alcohol you could bring in, and I used to like bringing Jack Daniels to Taiwan because they don't sell the giant size we have here, like the 1.75 liter, like at all.
Okay.
And even the small one they sell there is really expensive. It's like $30 or $40, even with a really great exchange rate for the Taiwan dollar. So I would bring in my own Jack Daniels, and when I'm like, how big is this bottle? Because it doesn't say on the bottle. And so I googled how big the bottle was. And like, oh, it's like almost 2 liters. And I'm like, I can't bring this into the country. And like the trick to anything, by the way, especially if you're coming from a country, the U.S. is gonna like doesn't work there. If you're going to a country and it's nothing too crazy you're bringing in, just speak English the whole time and do not look like you understand whatever they're telling you. And as long as you're not bringing anything stupid, they'll just wave you on.
Yeah, they're like, these people aren't worth the trouble.
Yeah. I was trying to, because I'm like, if they take the bottle, take the bottle. But I was like, I'm gonna explain to them in English. I'm gonna declare it first. I'm like, hey, this bottle's way more than a liter. Is that fine? And they looked at me like, what are you saying? And I'm like, more than a liter. And they're like, just go. Like next time I'm bringing two.
No, no.
Okay, I'm a criminal. Never mind. Leave me alone. You didn't bring back any. You didn't bring back any strong zeros to sell on the black market.
No, we brought back a lot of plushies, many plushies, and many BL books.
Oh my! Wait, you went to Ikebukuro. Did you know that that's where like the BL
Uh-huh.
district is? Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay, okay.
I wasn't gonna go, and then Mr. Fangy was like, "You really should, like,
Yeah.
like, what if stuff gets taken down from the internet? You might not be able to find it again." I was like, "Oh yeah, I better find all my favorites." So, I'm like going up to the workers in like Mandarake, like showing them like random BL covers on my phone. I'm like, "Do you have this?" I'm like, "Ari Masuka, do you have this?" And then they bring it all back for me. It was amazing.
That's great. That's great.
But
Also,
also, it made the luggage super heavy.
I mean, I'd imagine. I'm laughing because like you just like if we do shots are we good? I should say that to the workers that I bring my 2 bottles. Like I'll give you a shot. This shit's expensive and it's imported by me. No, but it's funny because so you went to Mondaki. Did you go to Book Off?
We went to so many Mandarake. There's Mandarake everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like in what's it called? There's like this one, oh, Nakano Broadway? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Nakano Broadway. There's like 50 goddamn different Mandarake, and they're all
Yeah.
themed for different things. It was crazy.
Well, yeah, because a lot of stores are like that. Like they'll theme themselves to like like, oh, that's the one you go to if you want this particular thing, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. We went to a bunch of those. We went to the one book off. We had a hard time finding those. We also
Really?
went to a bunch of Surugaya, which is another like secondhand
Yeah.
store. Those are great. And then the best though was when we were in the mountain area.
hmm
There was just a secondhand store, and because it's the middle of like nowhere, everything was like super cheap and not priced for tourists. I think I actually have a picture. I think I have a picture that I sent you, JD. I think I do in
I
like
will
the
put
believe
Weeb
it
it.
folder
in the
where it's just like
VOD.
a shelf. It's just like a thrift store full of like plushies.
Yeah, I have it. It's probably somewhere I could find it, but I'll just put it in the VOD.
Okay, well
Okay.
basically, it was just like an aisle of plushies, and some of them were really big, like really big plushies, like you could wrap your whole arms around them. Every single one was 300 yen. They have like these
Oh
giant Pokemon
wow.
plushies that would like cost like $30 in Akihabara, and they were all 300 yen. I just kept grabbing them, and I would find Mr. Fang in a different aisle. I would go, "This is 300 yen." I'd get a different one. I go, "This is also 300 yen." I just kept shouting. I was like so excited.
How
So I
did you
got
bring
this
it all
giant.
back?
Well, we bought another suitcase. No, actually, I was really good. I only bought one plushie there. I bought this really big Mew, but I wanted to bring it all home.
Wait, I saw the picture for a second. One of them had an eye
Yeah,
patch.
it was
It's
like
way too big,
zoomed
though.
in. I'm sorry.
What's
My
the eye
phone takes big
patch?
pictures.
Wait, put it back. I want to see the eye patch plush. What was that? It flew by too fast. I just saw an eye patch. Oh yeah, see, it's fucking pom pom pudding with like an eye patch, right?
That was 300 yen.
You get it?
Look at how big it is. Look at how big the My
Yeah.
Melody is. Every single one was 300 yen. Giant cinema roll,
Oh, that is a
300
giant
yen.
picture. Wait, is
There
that
was a
that
bunch of
dog?
Pokemon.
Dude,
Look at
I'm
all
just gonna leave it
the
up
Pokemon.
while you keep talking.
Isn't it amazing?
Hold on, you need to go. Someone in Japan needs to go get me that pom pom pudding like love detective looking one. I don't know
Yeah,
what
this
it's
was
supposed to
just
be.
like random thrift store in Takayama. That's where you go to get like the good deals.
It's funny because that kind of looks like a Goodwill, like like a Goodwill
It
setup. I
does,
need to
yeah.
say, it's
Yeah.
like a Goodwill setup.
I mean, it makes sense. Like everyone has Pokemon plushies in Japan, so when your kids grow up, you give them to Goodwill, but it's not Goodwill. It's whatever this was.
They even had the what the fuck's that Pokemon called? The one with the stabby legs, the god, the white
Arceus?
one.
Oh, Arceus?
Yeah, I saw an Arceus right there. It was like the stabby legs, the
That's
god
it.
of the god.
Oh, Fujoshi, that's what I did too. Because I couldn't fit like everything in my bag. I was just carrying the Mew on the Shinkansen, just on my lap.
the, when I went to a book off, I was in like a very similar story. I was similar in theme, not like what I actually bought. I used to be really into idols back in the day. I still am, but I was like really, really, really into idols. And I went to this book off, and they had like 100 yen section of these photo books, like for these
Oh,
idols,
yeah,
like
yeah,
mainly
yeah.
80s ones. And I bought so many. Like I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like I was buying. I had something that I watched this on eBay for like $30, and I was like, "I'm gonna buy that one
Yeah.
day." And
There
they're
was so much
100 yen.
stuff. There was like, this would be so much more expensive in the US. And it's just like $1 here.
Did you
But
guys
I
notice
saw, oh,
that like
sorry.
retro gaming is a lot cheaper there in general? I mean, there's
No,
touristy places, but
it's
like,
actually not the case currently.
really,
Um,
did they finally catch on
in
that it's
Akihabara, in
oh, in Aki?
Akihabara in particular,
If you go to
just
Super
because it's a
Potato, they're
touristy
gonna.
place, everything is so expensive. Like Game Boys are like 200 bucks.
Well, what the hell?
It's really overpriced right now in Akihabara.
Well, I remember like going to book off. Like I think I have my Famicom somewhere over there. I got my Famicom for $10, like like 1,000 yen or whatever the fuck was 1,000 yen, like that's yeah, the right price.
And there still
Um,
are places that sell it for that, but it's like none of the places that like tourists know about.
oh
So
yeah,
you have to just
exactly.
like walk into like the random hole in the wall places, and
Did
then
you
you
go
can
to Super
actually find the good
Potato?
deals.
Did you go to Super
Yeah,
Potato?
we went to Super Potato, we went to Trader, we went to.
Oh yeah,
I basically just had a
Trader.
huge list. I had a huge list of basically every retro game store in Akihabara,
Trader is
and then I just went
always
to all of them.
expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
Super Potato still has some decent. And Super Potato has like um everything pretty much. So like if you want to just be lazy, you can just buy it there semi
Yeah, and
expensive.
it was very well organized in Super
Yeah,
Potato.
Somebody stole my umbrella outside of Sweet Potato, and I'm still
Oh
I still hate
no!
that. Yeah, the
Do
only
you
I
have
wish
thing
someone
Samurai
had
Flamenco
stolen
Retriever
mine.
for you?
Huh?
I was referencing Samurai Flamenco. It's an anime.
Oh,
In like
Yeah, it's my
episode
favorite
2,
anime.
he
no,
goes after a guy who steals an umbrella.
no, I think I told you like I was really upset because I was so scared I'd lose my umbrella because it was actually like a rental from the hotel. So I put it outside
Oh.
outside of the actual umbrella thingy, and when I came back out, I wasn't even in the store for very long. I didn't even go to I went to like the third floor. I specifically was like, I just want to look in this floor real fast. I don't want to lose my umbrella, and someone stole it. And if I was paying more attention, I probably would have saw the guy because it was probably somebody who just left the store when I walked in. And
Right.
I'm like, what the hell? And then I just walked out without no umbrella for a while. Then when I went to another store, I got wet, and I was like, fuck it, I stole someone's umbrella at
Oh
someone's.
man, you will
Okay,
know.
Mandarin's going back to being a criminal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the opposite problem in Japan. I bought a giant umbrella because, I'm used to not living in a city. So I got a giant umbrella thinking that me and Mr. Fangy could both be under it. But when you're walking on the street, you can't have a giant umbrella because
Yeah.
there's all these other people with their
Yep.
umbrellas, and I'm like trying to like not hit their umbrellas with my big giant umbrella. It was terrible, and then I couldn't figure out where to leave the umbrella. I had to like lose it somewhere.
You're like, please take the umbrella when I come out the store.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, well you can always put that. You can still use the coin lockers and stuff, right? You don't have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I hear they're a lot more strict on coin lockers, but like back in the day, I used to leave stuff for. And this is how crazy Japan is, by the way. I would leave stuff for interviews, like almost all of our interviews were in Akihabara for some reason. That's just the way it turned out. This one particular trip, and it was like 3 of them across. Like, and I just used a locker for like 5 days, just leaving all my camera equipment in there, like thousands of dollars and stuff. Like, I was just leaving it in this locker, and I am nowhere actually staying there. But I hear they do clear them out every day these days, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I think they are more diligent about it because they fill up.
Yeah, it used to be like you just leave it there forever. Well, and even if they took it, they would just put it in the lost and found in the station. And typically, like, did you ever lost it? Did you lose anything in Japan? Like, it's crazy how you can go back and the
No,
stuff's still there.
no, thankfully no.
I've left bags at train stations, gone back to the hotel, sat at the hotel, been talking with friends. I'm like, oh shit, I left it at the station, and I'll go all the way back hours later, and it's still sitting right there.
Oh, JD, actually, do you have the Aomori folder?
Yes, I can try and open it up, but it will be a giant thing too.
Okay, there's the one picture of the bed where I have the Mew on it. The Mew that I got from the thrift store.
Oh,
If you guys want to see it.
you got the Mew, but you didn't. You got the Arceus thing.
I did, yeah. I told myself I could only get one. I was
You-
practicing self-control.
You didn't get the detective, the love detective pom pom pudding.
No. I would have gotten Cinema Roll probably if I was going Sanrio.
And that was a cute cinema. Oh, these are giant pictures. What like?
There we
why is
go.
the picture?
They're high res. I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna say, like, what kind of like 8K pictures are your phone taking?
That's on my phone. But this was our room in the Aomori hotel. So it was like Japanese style with like the futons. But you can see the
Oh,
Mew. I have the Mew there.
oh, that's
I
a
think Mr.
interesting
Fangy's
looking
arm.
hotel.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, the arm.
Yeah, that's Mr.
No,
Fangy's arm.
that's Peggy's arm. You know.
No, not mine. Not mine. That was
That's
one thing that threw me off though. Whenever we stayed at like a Japanese style hotel with like futons,
Yeah.
like they just give you 2 futons and you have to push them together if you're like a married couple.
Oh, well,
That's so weird.
I've never stayed in any futon style hotel. Like, like they have that kind of arrangement in other places too. But I've never stayed in one like that. The closest I've ever stayed in is, funny enough, weirdly enough, that hotel I mentioned, the one that in LA that has a see-through
Yeah,
shower.
yeah.
Like, that has the bed is just like this little raised counter, and there's like 2 mattresses on it. And also very funny is that they're separated, and we would push them together so we could.
Yeah,
In fact,
exactly.
we push them together so we could, like, everyone sleeping on the bed, so there's enough room for us. Like, if we all, like, if everyone gets friendly, we could all fit on the bed.
It's so weird. Like they don't have rooms with just one big bed.
Yeah. That's a nice room. Like,
Yeah, that was like the hotel that we splurged on at the end.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's why there's like space.
It made me think back to I'm like, that's the kind of hotel I like. That's the Hotel Sienna basically in Shinjuku, but like run down and dirty. It's not
Oh
dirty.
no.
It's not dirty. It's not dirty at all. But it's just like the area. You know what that hotel is used for. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Uh, now I feel like wanting to go back to Japan. I want to go for Christmas and see all the.
Yeah, we changed your mind.
Now I just want to. I just love Christmas.
I
Rate
like
a J
Japanese
Japan
Christmas more too. Like I want to just stay home and eat cake and fried chicken. That sounds nice.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about the fried chicken.
Yeah.
Because I've gone when they.
KFC.
Yeah, I've gone where the KFC, because like most of the KFCs in Japan, not all of them, but most of the ones I've ever been to, they have the fucking KFC. They have the Colonel Sanders statues outside,
They do. We did see that.
and like for Christmas, they put a Christmas hat on him.
It's
I mean,
cute.
and it's funny because I'm like, if that was the U.S., somebody would steal that hat.
Oh my gosh, actually, I have an interesting story. Bringing it back to Shirakawago, the little anime pilgrimage we went on.
Mhm.
JD, there should be a picture that's it's like Rio Kishi 2, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I have it on here.
Okay, so Shirakawago, basis for Hinamizawa from Higurashi. So they have like tons of like Higurashi themed things around the town and like in stores and whatnot. One store that's Higurashi themed has this area where you can hang up the ama, the little like wish plaques.
What?
Do you know what those are? The little wooden ones?
Yeah.
At the very top is the developer of like Higurashi, the writer. They have one signed by him with a little drawing. It is just hanging there. I was shocked. Like if that was America, that would have been stolen. And it had been there for like a decade. It's insane.
Hell?
I could have sworn I resized all these, but then they got even smaller, so now I have to re-import it.
No, I was gonna say, like, is that the picture you put up there that was super tiny?
Yes, that was super tiny.
I had made the record.
There we go.
Oh shit! Yeah, I would have stole that.
Like that would not happen in America.
Dude, that's crazy.
It just wouldn't happen, right?
Okay, I assume you haven't been to LA, right? Fangy, you've been to Little Tokyo.
No.
Okay, well, JD's been to Little Tokyo. You've been to Jungle?
No, wait. Maybe for like 5 minutes, but never like seriously.
Have you noticed how the wall is covered with like all the famous art, like manga and anime people and like whatever who like draw things for the store? It feels like that, but like in a much more personal level. I didn't know that the city would actually like acknowledge the.
Yeah, a lot of the stores around the town will have like little Higurashi figures or like a poster and stuff like that.
Oh,
and this one store just had like tons of Higurashi merch inside.
Yeah,
and those special plaques.
The fine folks at Manga Gamer keep offering us the new Higurashi. Well, they're new to us. The US, officially, so to speak.
Yeah.
The new Higurashi games, and nobody wants to review them at A to J. So.
Oh
no. But yeah, I'm like, oh look, it's the famous game. I've played. I haven't played. Molly back in the day, A to J person Molly played them on stream for us back when we used to stream a lot more games back in the day, and that's the way I experienced the whole series, is through her Let's Plays. That was pretty much just us watching. It was a long time ago, like year one A to J, but that's cool.
Yeah, we watched the anime kind of when we first started dating. Mr. Fangy had seen it before and he showed it to me, and I'm like super into it. I love like kind of like mystery type stuff and like murder mystery type situations, just like mysterious things. So I really like Higurashi.
Am I the only one who knows the game more than the anime?
I own the games. I haven't gotten very far in them.
I own the anime. Funny enough, still, like I got rid of most of my anime, but like that was in a small section that like I never got rid of. I think it's a bootleg anyway, but but I haven't seen it, and I still have it. But
they're good, and they did a new one recently, actually.
Oh, did they really?
Yes, yeah, there was actually like some new like posters and stuff that they had there, kind of advertising the new series.
Yes, they do a few new series, Manuel, but I can guarantee you there's one reason you'll never watch it, and you already know why.
Oh God, is she in it?
I believe so.
Yeepaw! Is it that?
I no, I have a voice actor friend. It sounds terrible. I'm like, I don't dislike them at all. They're
Wait,
actually
what?
really great. I love them. I have a actor friend whose voice takes me out of everything that they're in, and they're very popular. They're in a lot of big things.
Oh. Wait, are
So
you
like,
talking about the English version?
yeah.
Just watch it in
So
Japanese then.
I'm actually, it's funny because like we've had the sub versus dub argument on various podcasts in the past. Lazy Manuel likes watching dubs, uh, because it's very even if I have something, even if I know enough of the language, it's still like too much of a actual focus in my brain. Even if it's on the background, I'll be translating because I don't
That's
like know.
fair.
I don't know any language enough, except for English, I guess, where I just absorb it. It just absorbs.
Yeah, I definitely
So,
prefer dubs, so like when I'm feeling lazy and don't want to
so
read.
a lot of times a lot of times I'll watch a dub just because of convenience, and if I hear somebody I know, it's like, "Is that you? Stop playing! Get out of there!"
Don't worry.
Oh, but I do
Kaylee
have
only
some
has a.
more pictures of that town
Oh,
if you're
show.
interested at all. So like all of the characters' houses from the games and the show are real houses that some of them are still there. Um,
Well, yeah,
so
in the
like
game, I think they use real pictures,
they
right?
do, they
From
use the
yeah,
real pictures, and most of those buildings still exist. Some of them are like pretty run down now though.
well, that's sad.
And there are some buildings that did get torn down, like the doctor clinic from the game. I think
Mm.
that ended up getting torn down. It's kind of interesting. Like, I feel like if I was in the town, I would kind of want to preserve it as like a tourism type thing. But if you're just a random person, maybe you're like, I don't care about whatever anime.
I
No, it's my
really
house. I'm gonna do
wonder.
what I want.
Yeah, I really wonder what the tourism's like there. Is it like mainly domestic domestic tourism? So like I'm just saying something else. Um, is it like Japanese fans visiting, or is it a lot of foreigners? 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, you're the only person I've ever heard go to Japan and do Higurashi. Like
uh, so there were some other like Western foreigners. I saw a lot of, I think, Korean people. I'm pretty sure that's what I was
ah,
hearing them speak Korean. And then there were just like Japanese people there too, yeah. But it's very touristy. Like every couple hours, the buses of people would come in, and we went there in the morning when it was like mostly empty. But as soon as it's like the afternoon, it is very busy. Like, and people are just like walking around taking pictures of random people's houses and stuff like that.
it's
So like, I
awkward.
really, I really can't imagine what it's like living there.
Well, like I don't imagine it's any of the if like you have it a lot like in LA too. Like people will go like, "Oh, here's the house in Pasadena where they filmed the Michael Myers house." I mean to say, like and they're like, I think it's a dentist office now, but like, and what's the house? The Breaking Bad house. That's a perfect example. Do you guys know about the Breaking Bad house? I'll tell this story really fast.
Yeah, the one where they
No.
throw the pizzas on the roof.
Yes, and she gets so mad. There's a ton of videos of her like people just pull up and she just runs out the house screaming at them.
Yeah, I
And
try to keep it like super respectful and like just stay on like the road or the sidewalk when
I
I take
believe that
pictures
house
and
finally
stuff.
built a fence just around it so no one could throw pizzas. I'm sure people are
yes,
still trying.
oh yeah, I'm sure there's so many pizzas all over their front yard every day. But like I imagine like I would be very, I don't know, like maybe if I lived there and if that was my actual house, I'd be like, God damn it, stop taking pictures of my house.
Yeah.
Get out my lawn. I'd be a cranky old man like so fast.
But on the other hand, the tourism is probably pretty good for the town too for making money.
Well, yeah, the town is probably making money, but like I think you said it earlier too. Like I'm pretty sure people in the house aren't seeing like any of that trickle down to them. So I'm
I don't know, like it's such a small village that like they're probably running the restaurants and stores
oh,
that are there, I would think.
I mean, like if I live in one of those houses, y'all better give me a stipend of some of the some of that bus money or
Like
something. I don't.
if I move out of the view and you like look at the town, like you can see there's not that many houses. It's a really small town.
Yeah, actually, that's actually pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie, that gives me anxiety. Isn't that wild? That picture gives me anxiety.
What part of like what aspect?
I would lose my mind if I was in a place that had that few people.
Oh, you mean like if you live there?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Just looking at that, like, it's the kind of place where I'm like, God, we're not staying the night here, right? We're leaving after the second
Mano
I
just
get
doesn't
there.
want to
Well, you
catch
actually you
Hinamizawa
have to
syndrome.
leave. Everything in town shuts down at 4 o'clock, basically. Like, there's no
Oh,
restaurants open. All the stores close. It's kind of weird.
that sounds like a horror movie.
But I think I saw like a sign or something, or like in the magazine where it basically said like the town basically shuts down after 4 p.m. because the people that live here need their privacy.
That still
So
sounds like a horror.
tourism or tourists get out. GTFO at 4 o'clock.
No, they're all werewolves. Let's be real.
Ooh, I love that idea. That's a cool idea.
It's like, y'all need to leave before we turn to wolves and kill all y'all. Like we're fine with ourselves, but we'll eat the visitors.
Oh, but JD, maybe I can show some of the pictures.
Oh,
So the shrine from the series, that's a real shrine. It's I think it's called Furude Shrine in the folder, JD.
Yes, it is. I'm just seeing how big the picture is going to be.
I'm
Just put
sorry, I
it.
should have
No,
resized
it's
stuff.
my
I'm
fault
sorry.
that OBS decided to resize them for some reason.
Everything
So
is
now it's
always
just
JD's
tiny.
fault. It's fine. Oh, there it goes. Look at it. It's like this big. It's like is this a picture? Is this a shrine for ants?
Yes.
There it goes. Oh, it doesn't. There it goes.
Yeah, and I included the screenshot from the anime there, so you can like see
Oh.
how it matches.
Oh, let me turn off the subtitle. There we go. That's cool.
And then there's another shrine picture as well, JD. That's like up
What's it?
closer. And so shrines have the area where you can like hang hang your wishes
Mm-hmm.
on the wooden ema. And basically the one store that had all of the Higurashi ones had a sign that basically said like, stop hanging these at the real shrine. Like
Oh.
hang them up outside the store. You are bothering the shrine because they have to like keep taking them down. But even so, like if you look at the left there, that's where they hung up the wooden ones at the real shrine. And people were still like putting a lot of like Higurashi drawings up on there.
Oh, that poor city. I just imagine them. Or that poor village or whatever it statistically is called. But oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, so
That's cool,
that's the actual shrine one. So you can see like they're not all anime related, but
yeah.
most of them are.
Well, like there's an area like that in Little Tokyo, and like it's part of a real shrine that's there too, and um during like the festival season, it's always full of all the weebs to go there. My point is, this gives me this whole thing gives me very Little Tokyo vibes, like all the weebs descending on like, well, except like it's not in a city.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Little Tokyo vibes in an actual very small part of Japan.
It's weird though, because like even though there is a bunch of Higurashi stuff there weren't that many other people there for Higurashi. Because it is like a World Heritage Site, people go just because, look at this really pretty place with all this like retro buildings, the thatched roof houses and whatnot. Like a lot of old people were there. It wasn't like all weebs. Like as far as I could tell, we were like some of the only weeaboos there.
You should. Oh, that's weird then. That's weird. Like, I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
when we were in the store, that had all of the Higurashi merch, like there was like one middle-aged man that was looking at the stuff when I was.
Fangy's actually a middle-aged man confirmed.
No, that was an addition to me. In addition.
In addition, sure.
But then I also have. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I also have pictures of some of the characters' houses that were all there. If you bring up the Rika's house one, JD.
Is it gonna be an old lady jumping, like getting back and throwing a pizza on the roof?
No, I almost wonder if some of them are abandoned or just like not lived in, because like they're kind of run down.
Oh, what the hell?
But this is basically like one for one, the one from the anime.
Is it as small as the picture makes it look?
It is. It's very small. And you can't see in the picture. There's actually a waterfall behind it too, which is kind of cool.
Hell?
Yeah.
That's cool, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't mean this to sound like terrible, like somebody actually lives there, if they do or not. But that looks like the shed behind someone's house as opposed to the house.
Right, and part of me wonders, like, do they leave these up because of Higurashi? Like, would they have renovated
Yeah.
otherwise? I don't know.
Well, I definitely like. I want a real roof, guys. No offense to people that thatch roofs, but it's like I want tiles, and I want to like not have a million leaks during the rainy season.
And then JD, if you want to bring up the three houses picture.
I thought we were talking Higurashi, not Fire Emblem.
Okay, what? No.
Oh,
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
that was a good one. That was a good one.
You
Three
got me. You
houses.
got me. So this is kind of what Shirakawago is known for mostly. When you're not a weeaboo, is a specific specific type of house. With like the thatched roof and kind of like the A-frame shape. And
That
that's
looks
kind of
very
like the iconic.
European.
This is like the basic bitch moment here. Like everyone has to get this picture. Like there's a line of people walking out to this
Really?
field, like waiting to go out in this field and take the picture of these three houses.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like all
Like,
over the like postcards will have this picture basically. But
what?
better
Okay.
shot than when I do it because I'm not a
For
photographer.
the record, I'm a pretty sucker for cheesy moments, cheesy pictures, cheesy whatever. But this just looks, and I mean, it could be your picture skills. I don't know, but it's like if I came all the way out there, like in this werewolf village, and I'm like,
Werewolf Village.
I'm like,
I mean, I
and
think at
then
least part of it is the fact that I'm not a good photographer.
it could be.
And it does look a lot more scenic, like during the winter when there's like snow and everything too.
I mean, it looks scenic already. It just, I don't know, like the open air. Just like, I don't know why your pictures are giving me such anxiety. I'm like, no, I need a skyscraper and smog.
Okay, wait, I have the perfect picture to soothe your soul. JD, if you want to bring up the Shirakawago cuties.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
The Shirakawago cuties. You'll see. It will soothe
Huh.
your soul.
Give me a
It'll get
second,
rid of
let me
all
just
of your
find it.
anxiety.
Oh, here it is. But of course, it's up teeny tiny.
So like you have to like go up, you have to like climb up the mountain a little bit to like this observation deck area where you can like look down on the town. And there was a photo shoot. It was this couple and their 4 dogs and a little baby carriage.
Was it?
It was so cute. It was like the most precious thing
cute.
I'd seen ever.
Did
And their dad was
the
like,
dogs?
no, because they were taking pictures and whatnot. But the
Aw.
dad was like holding treats off camera, like trying to like get them to like look. It was
Oh,
really funny.
that's so cute. See, I would have gone for the dogs. That's what I'm like. I've been like, yeah.
I
let's
pet
just
some
go
other
for it.
dogs. There was another person that had like 2 huskies, and I pet those.
See, that would have been fine. It's like, okay, yeah.
Actually,
I'm good
they
with
probably
the
weren't
dogs.
huskies. They're probably like Akitas.
I will say, like, yeah. And then this area feels like the area where somebody would have, like, a husky-ish dog.
Yeah. No, it was almost all small dogs that we saw in Japan, which makes sense, I guess.
Huh? Did you go to any animal cafes? Did you see any any hedgehogs?
No, because I've read a lot online that like
Oh, I've read that
yeah,
too.
a lot of like horror
Unfortunately,
stories.
unfortunately, I've only heard about that recently, but I've been to a few animal cafes, and it's like, oh, now I feel bad.
I've heard like the dog and cat ones are okay mostly, or at least there are some that are okay.
Well, I went to a hedgehog one specifically, and I went to an owl cafe as well, and not the trendy owl cafe, but like a different one a long time ago. But I specifically went to a hedgehog one. I'm like, look how cute! It's Sonic. It's gotta go
It's
fast,
Sonic.
But
I
but yeah,
saw very little Sonic merchandise in Japan. It was weird. Because one of our friends
what?
is a big Sonic fan, and I wanted to get him some kind of Sonic souvenir, and like I couldn't find anything. I was
Oh,
surprised.
right
Manuel,
too.
Fangy, I hate to
Yes.
cut you off, but we are actually going pretty long. Do you want to?
Oh, we'll wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Let's wait. Did you not go to Tokyo Disney?
No, we were too scared to do a theme park on our first trip. I would like to. I don't want to do Tokyo Disney. I want to do Disney Sea.
Oh well, of course, but like
Because I
Tokyo
know that
Disney's
one's
fine
like
too.
not really like any of the other Disneys.
Well,
And I want to go
neither
to
is
Nintendo
Tokyo
World.
because both of them. It's the only Disney licensed park. Well, I think one of the Chinese ones licensed too now, isn't it? But for the longest time, it was the only licensed park. I'm not sure if there's another one, but yeah. Disney Sea is cool. what I always find crazy is that like some of the in-park prices for like concessions are not insane.
I can't
And
imagine that.
that blows my mind. Like, you mean this churro isn't $18? So yeah, shit like that. But it is a special trip. If you're staying in Tokyo, you have to go like all the way like out. Like it's a long train right away. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think where is it? Is it like near Osaka? Or
No, well, it's
no,
in Chiba.
that's the Universal, I think.
It's in Chiba, the Tokyo Disney. But so like it's outside of Tokyo actually, like as in Tokyo the prefecture. So
Gotcha.
you do have to like leave the area. It's like I said, it's like an hour some odd train ride. But it's easy to get to though from Tokyo because obviously the tourists. So
Well, yeah, they
that's
want to
a
make it
very
easy for you to go there.
but it's a long train ride and it's yeah. But it's cool. It's different. There's a volcano and stuff like that. I think there's well, it used to be a Jules Verne submarine ride where no, not like themed like the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea movie, but like just a Jules Verne type one. And I
Yeah.
think now it's I think that's also Finding Nemo now because they were changing that. Oh, there's the Aladdin place. What's supposed to be Aladdin Land? But it's like it looks more Indian, I think, than anything. But yeah. Oh, and then there's some air. Oh my god! I've been to Disney Sea a few times. It's a fun place, and it's also relatively cheap. It's like it's not to go to. I mean, at the time, I remember it only cost like 80 something, like $80 to go.
Yeah, I mean that's
Which,
cheaper than tickets here.
well, yeah, like Disney here, I think is like
I think it's like
a
$100.
It's more than that, and I think even SoCal people have like a discount for like if you have a SoCal ID or whatever, but it's still like 150 or something like that for
Oof.
Disneyland. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure about Disney World, and Disneyland's like not nearly as nice in my opinion. There's like trash everywhere and like disgusting.
Yeah, I can
Anyway,
imagine.
JD's like wrap it up, and then
Wrap
I
it
can
up.
start
Wrap
going
it
on
up.
about Disney Sea. Disney Sea though.
Basically, there's too much to do in Japan in one trip, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and there's a ton of like I've been there several times. Well, also because I just go there and drink, but I feel like I still never saw everything I want to see. Yeah, like Japan during well, I seen it during Christmas time, but not on Christmas. I want to get a cake and like hang out by a tree and like I want to live out. Like, you ever seen like that one? There's a song. Have you ever played Project Diva, the Hatsune Miku game?
I've seen it, yeah.
Well, if you ever see like the Christmas songs, I don't think it's even a Hatsune Miku. I think it's like one of the other girls, but it's like it's like that scene where she's singing a song. It's the Christmas tree, and like it's I don't know. I want to live that. Like
If
just
you
just
start
chill out
singing
there.
under the Christmas tree, I think the Japanese popo are gonna come remove you.
I didn't even talk about the police stories because I was gonna say like the police in Japan can stop you for anything. There's like no like
Well,
Miranda
yeah,
rights.
and
Like
you have to
if you
have your passport on you at all
exactly
times.
like they could just stop you and search you and they will. Well, obviously you have to be like looking shady, but I've been stopped by them a couple times, and they just stop you and they just start searching your shit. It's like, oh shit. Like, and
Yeah, luckily we didn't run into any trouble with at
well,
least this time.
I was gonna say, like you have to be like Manuel and out drinking and like it's just like clearly inebriated on the street.
Yeah,
So
they
yeah,
see us and they're just like, oh, those are just some nerds. Don't worry about them.
so I've literally been like shit faced drunk walking back to the hotel, like, and I know I'm stumbling. Like everyone on the street, like it's still like early, there's still other people on the street. Everyone's giving me like the widest possible. Like there is a bubble around me.
I definitely, when we were out late some nights, I definitely did see some drunk salarymen trying to make their way home.
I went. I was sorry, JD. I went to Mogra one night, like for like a friend of mine was DJing there, and I went to Mogra, and like when I came back out, there were so many passed out salarymen around the Mogra,
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
yes, and it was like, oh my god, guys, the venue was open until now. Like, why did you come outside? I assume they came out for a smoke and fell asleep.
I've watched Moga's streams because they have a Twitch account.
I didn't know they have a. Well,
They
obviously,
do,
I'm sure they have.
yeah.
You should go there one day because it's funny because like they have Mogra events in LA all the time for especially for AX and other cons, like when they bring over Mogra DJs, and
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
cool.
this is not Mogra because Mogra is the tiniest fucking club you've ever been in your life, and it's also one of those places that feels like if this was in the U.S., this would get shut down because this is not up to fire code, you know. Anyway, so yeah, so closing words on your trip, Fangy.
Japan's a lot of fun. If you're a weeaboo, definitely make a pilgrimage to sites from your favorite shows or games. It's a good time. And yeah, you should all go when you can. Plan for it someday. It took me a long time. I've been wanting to go since I was like 10 and played Pokemon. It took me like 20 something years after that, so you'll get there eventually if you try.
Exactly. And you do things the manual way. Just like pick a day and just start spending money recklessly until it all works itself out.
I mean, I think you can definitely make a Japan trip cheap.
Oh,
At least
for
once you're
sure.
in Japan, like you can do really cheap like hostels. Is that how you say it? And like
Yeah.
the food is really cheap.
Eat at the 7-Eleven. Eat at the Family Mart. Get a Family Chickie.
Get the
Yeah.
Family Chickie.
Eat a Family
I'm
Chickie
still
for every
disappointed
meal and you're
Fangy
fine.
didn't send any pictures of Fammy Chicky.
No, because I bit into the Family Chickie and like grease shot out all over my clothes. It was like a Family Chickie bukkake. It was a nightmare.
Eat at a Family Chickie bukkake.
Okay,
Okay.
keep going,
How
keep
was
going.
how was I supposed to take a picture of that?
I need to ask you this real fast because I need to know this. Did you know that when you get a Family Chickie, you're supposed to hold the bottom and undo the wrapper like this so it comes off, and you have a little holder?
We'd figure that out later.
Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that's not just me. Like I didn't know that for my first couple. Mine was like it was like only the second day when I learned it, but like the whole first day I was like ate like 2 or 3 of them, and I would just open the whole thing like an idiot. I'd pull it out, eat the thing, and it wasn't until I was getting one with someone else the next day that, and they didn't know either, but they were like, "What's this pull tab?" They're like, "Oh, it goes all. It has a little holder."
We're Americans. We're not used to nice things like that, so it doesn't even occur to us.
Anyway, so yeah, you can be cool and open a Family Chickie the correct way if you want to look like a like a true like seasoned weeb.
Next time for sure.
A Family Chickie bukkake.
I'll be a Family
okay.
Chickie pro.
Anyway, okay, that's it. That's the name of the stream, Family Chickie bukkake. That's the new ADG podcast. Okay,
Thank you for having me here. I'm sorry.
it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was different, and it was cool. Next week, I don't know what next week we should have. Well, Molly said maybe we're gonna do a Christmas tier list next Tuesday, and with someone, and then that'll be the last one for the year because then we have to. Then it's Christmas and then New Year's, and then I have to go to ALA. So yeah. Anyways, shout out to everyone. Patreon, Ken, not Ken. What the fuck's his name? Not Ken F. I called him Ken.
Fangy, what are you doing this week?
I'm making up everyone's names.
So tomorrow I'm probably gonna be playing something on my channel. I'm not sure. And then Friday I have my Monster of the Week collab that I do on my friend's channel, where I roleplay as a paranormal live streamer. So I'm just myself. I'm just myself. I play one character, guys. It's me.
That's like me in role-playing games too. So anyways, tomorrow I also forgot. Tomorrow we're playing more Final Fantasy 7. So I think we might get to the point where we're definitely gonna be Eric's date, and she's gonna be dying soon. So
spoilers for a 25-year-old game.
Yes, she dies. And Cloud's not really. Cloud stole Zach's memories. There you go. Anyway, not his memories. We stole his personality.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Peace out. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Peace. Thank
Good night.
Thank you for coming, Fangy.
Bye bye. Good night.